And now we have Kate Peters.
There's a mouse right here. I didn't realize it was right there. I just left it. Sorry. Hi, I'm Kate Peters. And my talk today is about compassionate coaching in corporate restructuring environments. And I've been with Cisco, and for those of you who don't know, Cisco's had 8 years of layoffs in a row. So it's been a fun time for me in the past 15 years. Ooh, we missed a slide. Can we go back? See, it goes from 1 to 3. Oh. Okay, well, just give me 30 seconds.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you the first one again.
Okay, well, you heard that story, and and really what this talk is about these restructurings and the impact they have on the different people that are affected by the restructuring. So, for instance, we're talking about the managers who are unfortunately impacting people, the people who are left behind, and those that are laid off. So there's really 3 groups of people in a layoff. It's everyone. It's a shit show for everyone. All right. It's never good. So to share a little bit about my life, I'm a survivor in these 3 groups. I have strategically realigned myself multiple times and changed my career multiple times in order to stay with this company. God only knows why. And so I feel a kinship with the first group that we're going to talk about, which is the survivor, those who are left behind. It is no picnic. It is not fun. And there's an actual syndrome in HBR called survivor syndrome. And as coaches, what's really important about understanding this is that it's not just business as usual for those survivors. They are left behind. They often are required to do more work because they are the ones who are left on the payroll. And yes, they are glad to have a job and money and sustenance that job provides. Unfortunately, it's also a horrible place to be. You are the ones who are left. You are guilt. You are fear. You are sad. You are scarcity of that mindset. And so when you coach survivors, you need to come with that empathy of, man, this is a really tough place to be. How do you work through this? When we think about survivor sickness, it's all about perception. How do we change their perception from one of scarcity to wholeness and gratitude so that they can be creative and move forward and maybe take a different direction in their lives or a different perspective towards their work? The next part of the story isn't about the survivors, it's about those who do the laying off, the managers. And after a layoff, what you had was a beautiful castle of a team. It was Cinderella's castle. God, it was beautiful. And what you're left with is this. This is dilapidated. It is falling apart. It is not pretty. And you have no roof. That is what your team looks like after a layoff. So just let that sit, that burden for a moment, that empathy for those managers. What did they have to go with? All of a sudden, after a layoff, they are the villain in someone's or many someone's minds. They have taken something away from possibly many people. So as coaches, how do we work them through that? They weren't the villain. They were doing their job. How do we help them progress forward as leaders in their organization so that the next time this happens, when things fall apart, they're able to help rather than do this? And the final group of folks are the actual people who are laid off, those who are impacted, which is a very sanitized way of saying laid off, right? I firmly believe that there is a series of grief that they go through. There's shame, and there's guilt, and there's fear, and there's pain, and there's sorrow. And just like this picture illustrates, there are many phases to being laid off. But eventually, and we've heard it in 2 other Ignite sessions today, eventually, they are set free. And they understand that there is something more for them. And in a way, the people who are laid off are actually given a gift in that they can leave and move forward. And as coaches, they are the easiest group with which we can work with because they are ready for something new. They're ready to move forward. They are ready to see that horrible metaphor of the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're ready for you to walk with them. As an internal coach at Cisco, I've been doing this for some years, and Cisco actually paid for me to become a professional coach. It's awesome. I ask my clients, if not now, when? You know there's a layoff every year. From February to October, your stomach is a mess, your stress is sky high. When are you going to see your current state and move it to something different? When are you going to take that on? What's it going to be? As coaches, we need to understand what they're going through. I've got it. I got the survivor sickness. So I know what all the folks that I work with have, but that empathy is really important for our coaches to have as well. So I'll leave you with 2 statistics, just 2 little ones. And the first one is this. In the last 5 years, 20% of Americans have been impacted by a layoff. And by the time we're 40, you'll have between 10 and 15 roles, different distinct jobs. So the question remains, if you know it's a sure fact, if 20% of the population has been impacted in some way, what are the steps that we're going to take when we address those people to take them forward and help them with empathy and compassion for their situation? That's all she wrote.
Thank you.